And even with the music, everybody raps. Everybody rap about the same shit. Money, drugs, women, the streets, the hood. Once they make money, all the fancy cars, APs and watches and taking these trips and this and that. It's all the same shit. But everybody's telling their story from a different perspective in a different way. And they're targeting their audience.
Absolutely.
So it's possible. And side note, I think me and my business partner may need y'all consulting help on small businesses. If y'all didn't know, my partner and I, we have a vending machine business, and I'll be putting some video up soon so you guys can see what we're doing in our progress. But we've been in business for 2 years now. But just tapping back into what you're doing and what you're saying, and like I've mentioned in the last Spotlight Series episode, there's so many creative avenues. There's so many things we can do, whether we're doing the same thing, selling shirts, selling platters, you know what I'm saying, or consulting, or vending, or whatever, real estate. We all can do it, you know what I'm saying? And it's possible. And we're living examples of that, you know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point of this Spotlight Series. Like, look, we look like y'all. We from the same place as y'all. We talk like y'all. We've had the same experiences, the same struggle. And for a lot of us, we're self-taught. These books here ain't for sure. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah. Investing 101. You know what I'm saying? Extreme Ownership. This shit ain't for sure. I've read these books and I continue to read these books. The Richest Man in Babylon, one of my favorite books.
One of the best.
You know what I'm saying? I think I heard Eddie Griffin say it one time. He was like, reading is fundamental. He stopped, let people take it in. Oh, y'all ain't get it? Reading is fun to mental. And I'm like, damn.
Yes.
Damn. And
yes.
You know, y'all know I go by the name Knowledge. My real name Teron. But with that, I use that moniker or that name because it's so essential in my life, in my growth, and it's so important. The knowledge, and you mentioned it earlier, and I've said it before, you know, I just said a lot, knowledge is power, but it came to a point where I realized applied knowledge is power. Not just knowledge, you know what I'm saying? You have to apply it, and even going back to the college degrees, just like we know people who've graduated with degrees and couldn't get a job, we also know people who graduated college or was deterred from college for a lot of different reasons, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, there's so many things that we can do, but to come together as a people. And sometimes, you know, we don't have the guidance or resources. Sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone and teach yourself. And yeah, it's hard. It's a struggle. You know, I've mentioned to you, and this is for later, I shouldn't even be mentioning it, but like for at least the last 16 years, I walk around with a bullet in my head, which is a whole nother rabbit hole. But I'm blessed to be here. You know what I'm saying? And the things that we're doing within our community, the lives that we're touching and affecting, it's you can't even put a price on it. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. I apologize for getting off topic, but this is important. A few days before we shooting this episode, I was inquiring with another business owner, someone that I knew, same from the hood, the area, who has a business, a thriving business in our community, making an impact as well.
Love it.
And I was discussing with that individual about doing an episode possibly. And one of the first things they said to me is like, "What are you getting out of it? You invest the money?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." It's like, "Well, you got to make sure you're getting something." I'm like, "I am getting something. I'm getting you. You know, I'm getting the people. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this for profit. This shit is genuine. You know what I'm saying? There's real people who survive these streets that's actually doing something, changing lives. You know what I'm saying? It's just so important what we're doing.
It is.
And we shining the light on this shit.
Absolutely.
So your nonprofit, that was the very first one.
Yes, that was okay. Whoa, we are long ways. So much good stuff to talk about. Yes, that was the first one. So yes, again, and now so that was founded in 2017.
Yes,
and now we're at the space where we're able to conduct our own pre-apprenticeship program. So
Dope.
Cultivating the Course is actually the title. So
Wow.
CTC, pre-apprenticeship program, and Cultivating the Course stands for Cultivating a Course of Action.
Yes.
That's taken to prepare, train, and qualify our youth
Come on
for
now.
trades, pre-apprenticeships in the workforce.
Yes.
So yes. CTC, Cultivating Camden's pre-apprenticeship program, will be launching this summer for high school youth located in the city of Camden.
Please, if you're the youth in the city, you know, or if you're an elder, a parent, please tap in.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely have the links for you guys to check out and to tap in, please.
Absolutely.
Because, wow, what you guys are doing, like, preparation is key.
Absolutely.
And, you know, once again, it's been in songs. We heard it growing up. The children are the future. And we're adults now, you know what I'm saying? And the children are the future.
Absolutely.
And a lot of what's going on and the paths that are being taken is not it.
For real.
So it's so important what we're doing.
I always use another cliche. It goes kind of like, the youth today are our leaders tomorrow. And that's super true. And we have to, as parents, certainly, and as educators, professionally, and as leaders, and again, we'll speak to the government aspect of it, but as our city leaders, it is paramount for us to grab our youth. Because again, once we get to a particular age, we're kind of conditioned. And then it's harder and we're working backwards. And now we're being, it's more of a reaction instead of a prevention. And so I think that is really paramount for, you know, us leaders to really, really have these conversations. Because even if, you know, this may be not necessarily exposed to many youth, just parents, to parents to understand, to grab your kids, tap into your kids.
It's a must.
I'm telling you, because if we don't do it, the devil will swallow them up. And when I say the devil, I mean the music that they're deliberately putting on the airwaves so that our kids can hear the sound waves and mentally destroy them, down to the financial institutions, down to the educational institutions.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you. Can we talk about that? Like when you say reading is fundamental. When I heard you bring up reading is fundamental, that's another one of those cliches. And it's like, that's in the literal sense, if you know, you know. Like, if you know what they are telling you in regards to investing one-on-one, then you know how to invest. If you know, you know. But how do you find out? You read. You read. And that's the thing, too. A lot of us are lazy. And a lot of time, really. And when I say it certainly from a standpoint of we were conditioned this way.
And it's all this is out of love.
But
just like what we're doing, we have to attack, address, and discuss the issues.
Absolutely.
And it starts with us.
Absolutely. It starts with us, holding us accountable. Absolutely. Accountability is my favorite. I've been saying that for years. Like, probably someone can find me on another podcast 4 years from now saying that. Seriously. Accountability. Because it's like, I remember, I won't say the young boy's name. He was murdered like last October. And I remember seeing his aunt go live, and when I tell you I cried, like if you know me, you know that I love what I love, and I love my community. I love Camden. Like this is us.
Home.
Like it's home. Like you can't, like when I would see total sidebar. I'm going to go back to the young man who was recently killed, but it just made me think about Nipsey Hussle. Like as he should have been still in LA. As he rightfully so at his marathon store, at his business establishment, at his wealth building location, at his place where at his community development located. Like he certainly should have been.
He wasn't on a block.
Exactly. And so that just made me think about when people be like, oh, when you got enough money, you should leave. Oh, when you got enough money, why you still around the way? Oh, when you got enough bread, get up out of there. And it's like, nah. I want to better here. And honestly, it's the heart. It's really in a community service. Being a servant of God is what we're all here to do. So Nip loving his hood, building those, those spaces to where people can come engaged in electronics and commercial. I think it was like a business venture space or a business capital space where you could get like commercial funding and lending. A lot. I think it was like Vector something. It was a title of it that Nip had going on prior to his passing. But I think that his partners continued on with the vision. Either way, that's as he should have been.
That's right.
He was where he should have been, and it was unfortunately a fuckboy that got him out of the way. But he's in an even better place, of course. But no, I hate when people say like, he shouldn't have been there. Okay, now on to this young man. So he died last October. I'm watching his aunt on live, and I'm literally like bawling tears because she was speaking to. Now this young man, I heard that. We in the street, so you hear who's on demon time, you hear who out here wilding, you hear who moving crazy and reckless. But the aunt was speaking to how the love inside of him, and that he was actually a family man, and she spoke to specific examples of how it was him who actually kept the family together, and then she gave prime examples of how his nieces and nephews felt about him, and just the younger cousins and different scenarios and things that spoke to the goodness of the young man's heart. Yeah. So I'm crying because I'm like, damn, we really lose people over nothingness, but good people. That's right. People who actually like contribute positively to society in those type of ways. So when you're a family man, that's contributing positively to society. You take care of your kids, you take care of your loved ones, you make sure your mom good, your grandmother's good. You're being that servant of God. That's right. And so to hear that he was like that, aside from whatever, street things he had going on, it was sad and it made me cry because it's like, damn. But after that, the aunt then went on to speak to, and that's why he couldn't do no wrong in my eyes. I don't care if you say he bust your window out. I still wouldn't say, nope, he ain't do that. I don't care if you said he shot this or did this to whoever. Nope, not in my eyes. And that part, I literally just wiped the tears. Yeah. Because we are our own problem. And this is all out of love. Yeah. It's us. The sooner we realize that it's us, the sooner we can begin to make real change. But we're not having a real conversations. We're not. And it's probably people who think it's okay to say, nope, you don't do no wrongs on my eyes. No.
That's enabling.
And thank you. Simply put, and we don't realize that we do it. Like, even when I see certain things being done on social media, I avoid social media a lot. In addition to being busy, I know that I have a lot of unpopular opinions. Yeah. I know. And it's the real. Yeah. And we're not conversing about the real. And again, it's more so a thing where we become combative when, what's crazy? There's actually a term. It's called scotoma. SCOTOMA. It's a psychology term. Yeah. And I've learned that many people are incapable of understanding or perceiving past their own vision. Wow. Or past their own... Go ahead.
Say that again, please.
There are many people who are scotoma. Let me say the term. SCOTOMA. It's a psychology term. And many people are incapable of being able to perceive past their own understanding. So it does, psychologically, we're damaged. Yes. You can be telling someone the facts, not your opinion, not your thoughts and what you've been thinking, like T-Roy, literally speaking the real, and there will still be defense. Yeah. There will still be combativeness. Simply because the mind, and so psychologically though, it says that it triggers people uncomfortably when they are having to be faced with something that they're not conditioned to. Yes. And so again, that's the trauma. And again, having that understanding, we're speaking out of love, and it's kind of the same understanding how you have for your parent. It's like, damn, we didn't grow up in the best situation, but I do have the understanding that you did make it work with what you had. Yeah. And again, our generation too, we're more privy to the books and the knowledge from our phones. Our parents didn't necessarily have that. Yeah. And then again, they were still in such a large adjustment phase that we kind of had to avoid. And that's the thing where I had made a video once, and I was speaking to the importance of why we should be even voting just off the strength of that, what they did to our people. Y'all killed us. just off the fact that we was gonna go vote. Now we gonna go vote, period. Because y'all wildin'. Nah, y'all tried our grandpas or our grandmas. Nah, now we voting.
That's a motherfucking fact.
Facts. And it's like, again, we don't have the understanding of our history to really reason with where we are today. And so again, with our parents having to adjust to even being able to work, to being able to even, like, you know, imagine someone telling you, like, nah, you gotta ride on the back of the bus. Let alone us having cars and being able to drive ourselves to different locations and things like that. So yeah, so understanding is the plight of our people. We still can't make, you know, the excuses and enable them.
Yeah.
And so that was what I wanted to say about that.
And just generally wrapping all that up, that all is bottled up and goes back into, you know, as they say, the first step is to admitting the problem. And a lot of us, we enable too much. We coddle the negative family members or friends. We allow them to do these negative things. And don't get me wrong, you know, because even like with the young man that passed last October, we was saying earlier, we all have a good side. We're all, you know what I mean? We're all passionate. We're all loving to someone. And my last video, because she was a filmmaker, director, and I was an actor in her series. With that, I also mentioned how everyone acts. Because just to point to that situation, how he was in front of his aunt, his family member, his kids, he wasn't the same person out on the street. He had to be an animal out there. He had to be a demon out there because what's out there. But he has to be that way based on the resources and everybody else that has to be a demon and an animal out there because of the poverty we grew up in, we was born in, we have to live through and survive through.
Absolutely.
So, once again, we still have to take responsibility and accountability for our decisions and actions, but we can't ignore the conditioning, the brainwashing that's putting us into these circumstances, that's forcing us further deeper into these circumstances.
Absolutely.
Because deep down, we all have the knowledge of good and evil. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And we all have the capabilities of doing more and doing better. Once again, it's about doing the work. Firstly, you know, we have to be the ones to open these books. We have to be the ones that's going to school, going to class, doing our homework, graduating, going to these colleges or trade schools. We have to do the work, and you know, a lot of us are just too lazy. A lot of us are what's the term? The psychological.
Scotoma. Yes.
A lot of us have scotoma, where we're just not addressing the issues, you know, and we're running from that. But another reason why we're here, we're addressing this shit head on, you know.
Absolutely. I think another thing we can add on to that is fear too.
Fear.
I think, Wale once said, you know, fear what you don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's too. Like, I think that sometimes people are afraid of, and again, going back to our parents, like I see it with my mom all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like when it comes to work, to like entrepreneurship, like probably I'll say up until like 3, maybe 2 years ago, my mom still like, you should just be a registered nurse, not understanding entrepreneurship, that you're going to have those failures in the beginning, that it may be tough, that there are going to be trials and tribulations, that there may be setbacks, that you may have to start over. But to not fulfill what you truly are passionate about because of what someone else is saying to you, or because they are projecting their fears onto you, absolutely not. So I say fear is certainly another one of those factors into why we're not doing the things we need to do, in addition to laziness and, you know, having scotoma and things of that nature. But it's like I said, my own mom, even like trying new things, I was telling her like, why don't you just, if you do this with the phone, it will just, you know, totally make it more convenient for you to just do X, Y, and Z. And she like, nah, that's hard. I don't even want to learn that.
Like you said, not to cut you off, like you said, after a certain age, a lot of us are just stuck in our ways or conditioned, you know. And, you know, for those of us that have to navigate through the legal system, the prison system, not only are we conditioned, we become institutionalized. And some of the effects are everlasting.
Absolutely. So, and I have a great growing relationship with my father now. My dad, he's been incarcerated for a lot of my life. There were times where, and he will openly talk about this. I mentioned the podcast that I have coming soon too.
Yeah.
But certainly, like, he's someone who's been, not only was he the drug dealer, but he became the drug addict. So he has kind of like a trifecta effect in regards to being institutionalized, then being in recovery, and then still having to be a human being. And so with that, though, he's doing well right now. He's like a year clean. You guys, amen. Hey, Dad. And yeah, but it's a battle in understanding, like, your mind could be, or your heart could be in the right place, and your mind still does not allow you to, get there all the way.
Yeah.
And so again, that's where a lot of kind of the understanding comes from. But with my dad, though, he'll say, though, that you're the only one who makes me think larger about my thoughts, or you're the only one who makes me reconsider something that I swore that I was stern about. And I'm grateful that I can be that person. And it may take me 45 minutes to an hour to get through to him. But those are the real conversations, that real talk, and that accountability that we're speaking to. Because it's like, although you may be institutionalized, and he's one of those people too who speak to being numb. Like, when you in jail, you gotta be tough. You're like, man, I grew up around, you know what I mean, niggas that's hard all day. Like, I'm really, numb to a lot of soft things. And but with being a parent and having all daughters, my dad has 3 daughters, I have 2 sisters. And so, you have to have some type of love or softness.
Compassion,
Exactly. And it's, finding a balance. And so I just appreciate my dad for not letting being institutionalized be an excuse. He's working now. He has a car. Just got his new grill. So, yeah.
Shout out to you, Pops.
For real. Word up. And he's really known in the community downtown. He's really known just as a good person. And even the community was kind of sad once they saw him, strung out on drugs. Like, no, you way better than this. Like, no, we can't see you like this. He's just so loving. Get the shirt off his back.
That's right.
Even on his down days, when he was on his ass, he still, just who he was, he'll give you, the $5 when he only got 10. And so, again, just that is a prominent example that I can relate to in regards to not letting that institutionalization be an excuse to let you thrive. And he's older, and not letting his age, because he's almost 50 and he's still making that change and doing better than he was 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Like, that's even a greater example. It's possible.
Absolutely.
Some of our elders are changing their lives, changing the course of their lives, even after all the mistakes, even after all the decisions, even after all the turmoil and trauma, even after incarceration.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I apologize. I love our communication. It could go on forever. Obviously, we're going to have a couple episodes for y'all, because it's deep, but also, it's not just about the communication. We're addressing the real issues that not only that we went through, that plagued our own families, that we had to navigate, but real issues that's going on within our community. How we navigated them, how we became entrepreneurs and business owners within this, through this, and we're still in it. We still live in Camden.
Exactly.
We're still impacting lives and trying to change those lives around us. And just speaking back to what you were saying, your father had said, I think that's so amazing, because we also lack people like us that's uplifting our people. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Expanding our people's mind, letting them know you can think bigger, you can think outside of this box, you can do more. And that's so important, having people like you, and not only your father's like I said, like, this is what it's about, like the spotlight, like the impact you're making, not on individual lives, but all the shit that we don't see.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so important.
I would, just to wrap that up, just speak to I would say love.
Yeah.
Because I'm big on the universe and energy and frequencies, vibrations, and with love being that highest frequency, I think that we all vibrate so low because we're not full of love. And even having an understanding what love means, because having a disagreement with someone, you can still love them. Nowadays, people stop being friends over nothingness. People will kill their own mans. Now backdooring is a thing.
It's a thing.
How?
How did we get here, people?
We're so far removed from where we should be as a community and as a culture. I gotta say culture because it's Black. We have to realize that Black people, we are in our own way. They're not, and yes, there is white on white crime.
Yeah.
Yes, white people do rap about guns and stuff as well, but we have to become conscious and understand how that is directly plaguing our community and how that is a negative effect on what we have going on our daily lives. So, wrapping that up though, yes, definitely grateful for having, again, my dad wasn't in my life. We didn't have a relationship. And again, I'd always known him all my life.
Yeah.
Even when he was, selling drugs, it was a matter of us not necessarily, he would be on, like, if I lived on 7th Street, he could be hustling on 6th Street, but I could still not see him for months.
Yeah.
But now I could call my dad today and we could beat down for an hour.
Yeah.
And so again, just speak, and that's love.
Yes.
And what's love? That's forgiveness.
Yes.
And again, so all of that, I want to state, end off with poverty being the motivation for cultivation, because all of the bad shit, all of the negativity, all of the crime, losing our friends, not knowing things, because now we're starting to become more woke. Now we want to become business owners.
Yes.
Now we want to own real estate.
Yes.
Now we want our kids to, thrive, and we happy to show our kids report cards and things of that nature off on social media. But we have to, poverty being that motivation for us to want to change those things. So because we did grow up with nothing, should make us want to have everything.
Something.
Because exactly. And that's a lot of, like, I always get emotional about Boo from Sycamore, just his passing.
Yeah.
So as Boo, Turd, I could name them on and on, but it makes me, it's such a sentimental topic for me, just knowing that these were people with great hearts.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they were fathers and active fathers in their children's life, and now their children have to grow up without them as we grew up without our parents. It makes, again, that motivation to, if Boo kid was to ever have a kid, his kid gotta be way better off in a situation than Boo kid was without Boo being alive. And that's kind of how, again, that poverty is the motivation for cultivation. Like, you know what? These young men don't have fathers. We need for men, even if you already have your own kids, to still be a role model. Not be a father. I'm not saying go just take care of random kids.
Yeah. You
see a young man in the street hustling, wilding, he might just need that adult male figure conversation to let him know that, this ain't the end all be all for you.
Like you said, love is the highest frequency. Give love, show love, and be loved, But, give that guidance. You see the youth out there, and, man, they're misguided, We have to give that, and us stepping into these entrepreneur and business owner spaces, these positive spaces coming from where we came from, we have to become the elders,
change
and
the narrative.
That's right. Be the change that we want to see, which we're doing in real time. And it just needs a collective of more of us doing it, and be the guidance not only for our community, not only for our youth, but for our future.
Absolutely. And it has to be more of us. It has to be like, we can make small change in daily lives, but we need monumental change. Like, we 400 years behind. It gotta be not most of us, all of us. Like, we years behind. It's going to take all of us collectively coming together. And I don't even understand why Black people have yet to realize that we are stronger together.
Yeah.
We are the only culture. Chinese people, they rock with other China. They got Chinatowns. They rock with each other so much. They got Chinatowns. Jewish people, we already know how they come in wealthy. They got private communities. You got the Asian individuals. They even look out for each other. From one Asian salon, next thing you know, even if they move out, they've given it to another Asian person. They ain't gonna just put it up on the market for anybody. Black people, we're the only people, the only race that do not work together. And don't realize it. It would even be better at least if we admit it. Like, you know what? If we all came together, we would be better off. But I don't want to. We just don't even acknowledge coming together at all. And it's messed up. Like, a prime example I end off with here is Federal Street out east. Federal Street.
Yo.
They don't have to leave that community for nothing.
Yeah.
They can walk to Federal Street and get medicine, food, a party, get their nails done. Whoa, go back to the party. Because now we, blacks, we even at Dubai giving them revenue in their community. Every last dollar that goes to Dubai will be spent amongst that community. They not about to come support nothing that's going on Parkside. They're not about to come support nothing and we have to understand that we are going to Dubai, Federal Street, in that Hispanic community. And then with majority of them being Mexican, we so as a race that we were here as blacks before Mexicans. So them being immigrants coming over to Federal Street in our hood, Camden, and surpassing us because we ain't got no blocks. Yeah. We ain't got no black Mount Ephraim. We don't got no black Mount Pike. We don't got no black Hatton. And they got a whole Federal Street. And then we go party in Dubai and bring famous people to their spot.
More dollars out of our community.
That goes to them. Absolutely.
And further setting us back. But
absolutely. We
have to change someday. We have to be the change.
Absolutely. And hopefully that starts with this Spotlight series.
Much appreciation. Right. So please.
So let's go to, so from the nonprofit, where we at? So moving on.
Yes. Moving on. What was your second business or business venture, or that was nonprofit? Did you go straight into the for-profit?
Yes. So that transition happened during COVID, actually. So from 2017 to 2020, Cultivating Camden, my nonprofit, was hosted inside of the school district. So we were just at a variety of different schools, facilitating that career and college readiness. Okay. Then COVID came, schools were closed.
Wow, yes.
So now I'm home, but that was a perfect time to allow me to create the pre-apprenticeship program, because now that gave me the time to dream bigger. Yes. The vision to be able to plan larger than just, okay, we're going into these schools, now we have a facility. And okay, now we're going to these schools and we're doing this facilitation. Now we're actually doing instruction with physical on-the-job training. And so, so during COVID, that brought me there, but that also brought me to the for-profit side of things because, and I think a lot of people kind of came out of COVID doing entrepreneurship, honestly.
Yeah, something about it.
Which is great, though, because we need, ownership is essential. Yes. That's a whole nother conversation, but we have to own our own businesses, our own homes. We have to understand what equity means.
Yes.
Again, we can go down the hole. What you got?
Extreme ownership.
Yes.
This is one of many.
Now, I haven't read that. Yes. I might need that.
Okay. This is a good one.
Yes, seriously, man. Ownership, and it's like, so during COVID, that brought me to the, with noticing that there were multiple people actually starting their small business. They weren't starting correctly. So, so that brought me to the business consulting phase, and it's business consulting and life coaching. So, and life coaching came first. So again, just being passionate about people, and like I said, starting the nonprofit, with having that young man getting killed, and I'm saying like, yo, where's the regard of life? Why are we just not just having, a value for something that's so valuable? Right, and so that's where the life coaching aspirations came from as well. And it was, I guess, chief cultivator, because there are a variety of things, but I enjoy all of it. Yes. But that brought me to that space of, I want to help people close the gap between where they are and where they desire to be, whether if it was personally or professionally. And so that's where Chief Cultivator Consulting, my consulting firm, that's where that came about. So we offer small business services and life coaching services. And so during COVID, seeing everybody start their business, and it's like no one is forming them properly. So like there's no certificate of formation, there's no EIN.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Literally. And if you don't know, get with me.
That's right. Come on.
So seeing so many people start these endeavors, which is great. But again, just being a resource for our people to make sure, okay, we're going to start, let's start correctly. If we're going to start, let's start off on a great foot. Yes. If we're going to start, so again, wanting to help people. And I've been making people resumes for probably for 10 years. Like, I'm just such a, and people will vouch. Like, people will see this like, yep, she made me one. She made me a cover letter. She was my reference. And I always just had to get a passion to see people live, their best lives or be the best version of themselves. And so, with seeing, so many people starting their business, I'm like, okay, there is a need for business startup services because they're not starting them correctly. Yeah. And so that was another cultivating mission to where it's like, okay, y'all have the interest. Let's take it there. And then to also understand LegalZoom, because most people run to there, not having knowledge. They getting y'all.
Come on.
Stop running LegalZoom and head to Chief Cultivated Consultant LLC, because my prices are half of LegalZoom prices.
Oh yeah, we promoting you.
Let's go. But seriously though, and it's like, so now y'all killing my people on the price end of things. And also y'all doing it from when you guys come into my office, there is certainly a process and a procedure to where you understand it's not just necessarily me signing your documents for you. Okay, you paid me, you're done. No, you understand that you take this document, you'll be able to go to the bank and get funded for this. Right. You take this document, this help you open up an account, and now you can get a credit line for this. You take this document, this is what, you need to have this document. This makes you a legal entity. Yeah. We can start off there. This documents just make you legal to do business. Yeah, so just seeing that so many people and that there was a need certainly led me to also that for-profit endeavor of launching Chief Cultivator Consulting. So I have a lovely office space located downtown. Located on Ward 1 downtown on 3rd and Kane Avenue. So you can always check my office space out. And again, it was more so just a passion of helping people. Just physically being able to engage in entrepreneurship from close up prior to actually becoming an entrepreneur myself. I saw the different dynamics and the different workings of how to not only start a business, but sustain a business. That's the important. We can start. It's sustaining. Yes. We can start a business all day. So, with, again, having that knowledge, having that physical experience, I wanted to be able to convey that to people to make sure, like, okay, I love, like I said, if I'm speaking on group economics and that we all should, be owning our own business, I can definitely make sure that we all are going about that in the right way. And so that's where the for-profit and the consulting firm came about.
And that's so amazing and so important. And it's funny because I started my business in 2021. But one of my motivations was because I had a brother of mine. I remember it probably was 2018, 2019. Now, we had invested. First, we worked for some people who invested into a franchise, a cleaning franchise. I'm not going to speak their name.
Okay.
But they invested to a cleaning franchise, so we worked for them. Then my brother, he wanted to do the same thing a few years later, 2018, 2019. And when he went to do that, I was already researching and learning a few things. Okay. And I'm trying to express to him, like, obviously it's hard work, but you can do it this way, you can do it that way. You don't have to pay LegalZoom. Mm-hmm. He spent over $1,000 for LegalZoom to set up and form his business, which is a great thing. But there has to be a call to action. We have to take action. Absolutely. We have to apply the knowledge. Mm-hmm. With him taking LegalZoom, which is not a diss to LegalZoom or
y'all my competition. I'm dissing.
Yeah.
Chief Cultivator Consulting.
Well, it's on site then.
Period. Okay,
but he did that with LegalZoom, but you didn't learn anything during the process. Exactly. These people behind the scenes charge you out the ass to set up your business, but you did not learn how to start your business or sustain your business. Mm-hmm. Then furthermore, he did not take action. Mm-hmm. So when his business was no longer registered the following year, and certain things had to be paid, quarterly taxes and things like that, he didn't know how to go about that. He had to go back to LegalZoom, but at that time, he didn't have the funding or capital to do so. So it's so important in what you guys were doing, because like I said, I started my business in 2021 too, and my lady could attest to it. When we got together, like, I didn't go outside, I wasn't watching TV, books, work, I'm studying. I don't got time to chill, I ain't got time to play, but really like get into it, you know what I'm saying? And I was able to set my business up from the comfort of my home, the comfort of my bed, on my cellular device for less than $500. You know,
all from your own wanting to seek knowledge and applying that knowledge.
That's right.
And you successfully are a business owner.
And that that drive, that push based on my experiences and my motivations. Now, respectfully, we acknowledge everyone doesn't have the same resources or the same drive or the same motivation or the same, just the same want. You know what I'm saying? But this is why people like you are in spaces creating and doing the things that you're doing. So now you have this guidance and you get to learn along the way. Like,
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And in addition to that, I mentioned it before, but when I hear you speak too often on the applying the knowledge part, I would say from a business consulting standpoint that is what business plans are essential for as well. So I have a business plan. It's versatile for people who are starting a business and already have a business. So it's titled Too Busy to Handle Business.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, sometimes we can be stuck too busy to handle business. At least we tell ourselves that. But here's a guide that'll help you do that while being busy. And so, oftentimes, when we start our business without that plan, so now we're busy just trying to operate, and we don't necessarily know which way we should be going throughout that operation process. So when it comes to the point of marketing, a part of a business plan, is like, okay, I'm going to sell ice cream cones. Cool. People think that, all right, I'm going to go grab a few buckets, maybe grab them wholesale or maybe grab them by bulk at Sam's Club, and I'm going to whack out my ices. But no, prior to you even buying the ice cream, you should know what locations are you selling these ice cream. Who's your target audience? Are you going to have chopped children ice cream or adult ice cream or both? And again, so it's like all of these things as a business consultant is what, I want to help people not only start a business, but sustain a business. And so, so that's where I came out of COVID with not only the nonprofit and our new renovated pre-apprenticeship program, but a for-profit business where I'm assisting, small businesses as well as life coaching.
One last thing, once again, I want to commend you on that. Tip my hat to you again, because what you're doing is so fucking monumental. It's so important, not only within our city, within our people, within our culture. You know what I'm saying? For any individual of any color, you know what I'm saying? No one's excluded, but to address the issue within our own community, we have to start with us first. We have to start with our people to be able to, just like we have to start with yourself to be able to help anyone else, we have to start with our people to be able to help others. And ultimately, definitely by the grace of God, you are of service. You are truly of service to your people. And I thank you for that, because you are truly making an impact. And like, where you could have went out and did anything that anybody else is doing, you're stepping into new spaces that you had to overcome certain prides and egos and uncomfortability to be where you are now. But you're doing something that's actually essential and needed. Absolutely. That our people are lacking, our city is lacking.
Absolutely.
So I definitely commend you on that as well.
Thank you. And I truly appreciate it too. My heart is like, I'm overwhelmed. Like I always say, where's the affirmation of my love language? I would keep saying it. No, but just to hear it, it's truly just, it's inspiring. It makes me want to just keep going. It makes me feel like, what I do is worthwhile. And again, I love it. I do not, it doesn't feel like work, honestly. Like truly just, even people like randomly DM me when they see my story, and they say like, yo, you know what? I always knew you would grow to be this type of person. Or, when we used to be around, and I screenshot them because again, the next few months, things I have going on, I'm going to share these things, but I keep posts like that because when I do share my story, I want to share what other people think, not just my words or what I can say about myself, but what does your community say about you? And okay,
come on.
And so even family, like how does your family speak about you? How does your friend, like my little sister, I got screenshots from her, but she say every time I leave from with you, I'm inspired. Like words, and that's my love language. So again, it brings me to another level. So. just thank you
Yes.
for thanking me. And again, this Spotlight series is essential.
Yes.
I love to see just honoring our people.
Yes.
And I hope that it inspires other people to
Yes.
be great as well, because it's
so.
time for, paradigm shift
Come
of
on,
greatness.
Paradigm.
Okay.
Yes.
Understand, like,
Yes.
we are so far from where we should be culturally,
Yes.
just as a people. And so persistence.
Yeah.
Understanding that you can go to zero at any time and make it back up as long as you strive to do so. So talk about endurance. It's really a thing of just entrepreneurship, and it's powerful, and it's the mind, it's the reading, it's the knowledge, it's the want and the will and the work. Want, will, and work. 3 W's. We might gotta we might gotta coin that somewhere. We made that up right here, right now.
Yo, it's gonna be copywritten by the end of the day, so don't even try.
Period. Look, consultant here. I'm a trademark. I got it. But no, seriously though, and so just having those characteristics are essential just for entrepreneurship, and anyone who's just not even entrepreneur, even if you do work a job.
Yeah.
Just a matter of getting up and doing what you love and doing it well.
Yeah. And I was about to say that onto what you said too. When you're in a space, you're walking within your purpose. If if you love what you're doing and you can do it for free.
Absolutely.
If you could do whatever you're doing for free, you're walking within your purpose.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
And
I've learned that through the nonprofit sector. Honestly, starting with the nonprofit, you're having to fundraise, grant writing, all of that stuff. But for a majority of the time, I was doing it for free. Spending my own money. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
And I think I was speaking on that earlier before I got cut off. When the video cut off, individual I wanted to do an episode with, I was discussing with them recently, and the first thing they went to was like, "Oh, what you making? You shouldn't be doing it if you making it. You got to make sure." I'm like, I'm worried about that, but getting into I'm not in it for profit. I'm trying to be of service, not only to myself, because I'm growing, I'm learning from all the different people I'm coming in contact with, but I'm being of service to my community, to my people, and I'm doing the work. But also, to get to my point, everything doesn't have to be transactional.
Yes.
Everything does not have to be transactional.
Yes.
They say you bless and be blessed. You're being of service, and a lot of people wouldn't have taken off with a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Coming out of your own pocket, having to raise money. A lot of people, because everything has to be transactional. Oh, what I'm getting out of it.
Absolutely.
And that's what hinders our growth within ourselves and our community and our people. So,
And I would say too, you mentioned just now about that's kind of what holds us back. Or not hold us back. You didn't say hold us back. Hinder. That's what you said. I wanted to use your exact term. Thank you. That's what hinders us. And you're absolutely right about that. And the fact that we don't tap into ourselves to realize that everything we need is already inside of us. And so in addition to that, another thing I wanted to touch on is the need not for it to be transactional.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right. Like, when I just think of my day-to-day life of, like, even just my mentees, like, I have a few mentees, I gotta pick these kids up for my own gas. I gotta go take these kids to restaurants, and I love it. When I say that, I'm being facetious with my tone of voice. I love what I do. I don't get nothing back from these kids. I don't look for nothing back from the kids. And also, when I was going to add to the hindrance, I wanted to add block the blessings. That's you're looking for that transaction. You're blocking your blessings. Do it for love, and grateful for you to be doing this podcast.
And the universe will move and work in your favor.
Amen.
That's a fact.
Having just aspirations of community development within Camden City, understanding that we have a lot of homeless issues because there aren't a lot of homes being built.
Yes.
Understanding that we have open or even just the fact that a lot of businesses who I assist as a business consultant, yes, they register their businesses, but they have no place to conduct their business because the storefronts are located out Pennsauken on Westfield. Yes. Why don't we have any thriving business corridors within Camden City? And so that's why a lot of my focus is towards eradicating poverty, community development, and when you bring places for businesses to conduct their services, you bring jobs.
Yeah.
And then when you bring jobs, you boost our economy. And so then that's a positive domino effect.
Yes.
And as the chief cultivator, that's what I look forward to doing.
Definitely. And once again, your impact in the community with individuals, with our people is so phenomenal. It's so monumental. And I applaud you. I commend you. I tip my hat to you. What you guys are doing is so amazing. And once again, like I always say, to be from our struggles, our city, our community, to be of our culture. And we're literally breaking the cycle. We're being the change that we want to see. We're inspiring. We're motivating along the way, and we're teaching. Each one teach one,
Absolutely.
which is so important. Before we run out of time, part of the Spotlight series is a must that we have to literally give you your flowers. We love you. We love what you're doing within the community. You're an amazing individual.
These are beautiful.
Yes.
These ain't like no little regular flowers or nothing either. And I love flowers. I love flowers genuinely.
Yes.
So thank you.
No, you deserve it. You truly deserve it for what you're doing. And it's too many of us, like I said, we share mutual acquaintances who were so talented, and they could have been something today, but their lives were ended too short. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? We come from places where people aren't given their credit when it's due while they're here. So one thing we like to do here on Real Talk Real is to give you your credit, shine light on all the amazing things that you're doing, the lives you're changing, the impact you're making within the city, and literally and figuratively give you your flowers. You deserve it. You're amazing. What you're doing is amazing, and I'm sure you have a lot of great things in store coming up. Yo, we ain't even done.
Stay tuned.
Yo, please stay tuned. We got a part 2 coming to y'all. It's been amazing. It's been great. We've crossed so many topics, and man,
stay tuned. Definitely got some
just stay
announcements
tuned.
to make coming up.
Yes.
And more in that conversation to where we can elaborate thoroughly.
Yes.
Because we can speak more freely
Yes.
now that
Yes.
certain cats may be out of the bag.
You heard?
But stay tuned for sure.
Definitely.
And I'm so grateful. I'll just end off saying that again, platforms like these are essential. I enjoy podcasts that are knowledgeable, that are inspirational, that are empowering.
Yes.
So I know this is one of those dope ones that's gonna be in the book for sure. And you just, even like I said, for me, love language just being words of affirmation, to have a whole Spotlight series.
Yeah.
I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude, and it's appreciative
Thank you.
times
Thank
10.
you.
And to literally receive my flowers.
Yes.
Just thank you, because I do this work without looking forward to any of it. Even just being a black woman from a black man, thank you for this.
Yes.
Seriously.
And before we end off, I hate to cut you off. That's another thing within our black community. Too many of us black men, when it comes to our black women, we're not protecting them enough. We're not supporting them enough. Too much of our interactions is transactional.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't be that way. Absolutely. Literally every man, you could go to an animal, insect, every man on this earth, every person, period, but no life on this earth is possible through a woman.
Absolutely.
And behind every man, or every strong man, they say, is a black woman. And man,
absolutely,
you're amazing, and the impact y'all making is amazing. So I thank you again for coming on Real Talk Real. Sharing a little bit of your life, your experiences, and like I said, and like she said, stay tuned. We have some more announcements. We have some more real talk for y'all, and we're gonna keep shining the spotlight on these topics, individuals, and their accomplishments and achievements. So thank you. With that being said, if it ain't real, I don't want to talk.